Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to a little bit of a chitty chatty video. We're going to be talking mostly about this new Baliplus Orca that's just come out. I'm going to try to get one for the channel because there's been some ups and downs with acquiring Balisongs lately. They're all quite dear now. But yeah, there's one. I still want to get that Arm Shark Ultem one. I still think that's super cool. It's probably my favorite one that's come out, other than this brand new Orca v1.5, which is really cool. And to talk about it, I've brought out the Tsunami, and she is now back on purple screws because I think they're cooler. Yeah, I think they are. I think they look better than the blue ones. I had it on the blue ones for a little while, although I think green might be the best colour, to be honest with you. Like, it's just one of those. The Tsunamis look so good in green, but I might be able to make the purple screw crew with this, maybe the Arm Shark Madco, and then a polished Orca, because I'll be honest with you guys, I love the Orca. The design is so good. I've always loved how they look. I love the V1. I like the V2 blade more and some of the handle features, but I do think that the V1.5 might just be perfection. So the fact that Baliplus have brought out a clone with good hardware, I've seen the hardware, it's got that proper pointy back, and it looks like it's actually phosphor bronze washers instead of brass, like Baliplus like to use. I did notice on the aluminium Tsunami and on the, what's it called? The Necron? Those were both, whatchamacallit? They had phosphor bronze washers instead of the brass ones that Baliplus normally use, which is like super cool. Personally, I think that's like such a huge step forward for Baliplus. So if they can just get their blades nice and flat, which they've seemed to have been doing a good job as of late, I think this Orca might be their best product just yet. Obviously, the Seraph is coming out as well at some point, the Baliplus Seraph, which is also kind of huge. I've seen kind of footage of that. It looks really good. The handles look really accurate. The weights look pretty accurate. I'm very curious how that's going to compare against the real one. You know, there's only going to be so many people who can make the comparison videos, so I'm hoping to get one of those. I'm curious to see also whether the blade will fit on the Baliplus. Like, the Baliplus blade will fit on the real handles. You know, how much stuff is interchangeable, because obviously I've got a Seropus, and so I'd be curious to see, you know, how does the Seraph handle. I'm curious to see whether they're going to go for the milled blade design, or I guess the blades have always been milled, but like with the more like fine pattern like this, like the Opus has, or like the more aggressive texture they've been using recently. And whether there'll be other machine-wise clones, although machine-wise clones are really difficult to make just because how tight they get their tolerances and stuff. So probably all of these Balisongs that they've been making have been a training up until then. But you know, I'm really excited about that Orca as well, because that's already out. Apparently a new Orca will also be entering the market at some point. Like a new Orca clone. I don't know about that. It's from a new company. I don't know if it's AKD or what. Apparently the AKD Orca is quite good. I was just worried that the handle gap is quite small, and the blade looks a little off. It just looks a little off, like proportion wise. I know the JK knives are tend to be a little bit chunkier, a little bit beefier. And I like that Baliplus managed to recreate that, but without feeling like humongous, right? Like, this feels really slender and sleek, and I like it because of that. You know, it's super comfy. And my favorite thing is just how well it plays with the light. I think that's just one of the coolest things, is when you have a Balisong that's super, you know, polished and stuff. So definitely for the V1.5 Baliplus, I'm going to be grabbing one of those. Ideally two, but I don't know how realistic that is. Probably not two, but you know, at least one. I'd like to get the 3-hole pattern in the polished version so I can have it go along with my Tsunami, and it'll probably be hopefully my favorite flipper, because this I really like, and you know, it's great, but I think that might be better. I'm gonna have to see about how it flips. You know, it's probably not gonna be as comfortable as this. It might be grippier, it might be better at tricks, and I think it's going to look cooler doing them. And then there's going to be the really difficult decision of whether I anodize it, and I don't think I will, for the sole reason of I've been enjoying kind of monochrome balisongs with just a splash of color, right? So I might replace the hardware for some purple hardware. But the hardware is apparently quite good, so maybe I'll like blue the hardware or something. I don't know. I'll probably keep the hardware as it is and just exchange it for something at some point, right? Just for different pivots. Maybe I'll even put in like machine mouse pivots or something. I don't know. Oh no, I only have one spare. But yeah, that Orca I'm really excited about. That's the thing I'm really just the biggest hype, because I've been waiting. For those of you that are newer to the channel, I did get the v2 Baliplus Orca, which they made, and it was great. I loved that balisong, but I wanted the polished version, and I had got sent a not polished version, and I can't complain because it was still a great balisong. I got a good tune on it. Well, I put a good tune on it, I should say. Even the stock tune wasn't too bad, to be fair, but I put a better tune on it, and it sounded great. It felt great to flip. You know, it's off to a better home now. And I was always sad that I never had the polished one, so my plan was to use the funds from selling that Orca to buy the same Orca, but in polished, and then possibly switch out the screws for purple ones. Is it? No, it's just a reflection, okay. Yeah, and so that was my plan all along. But when it came time to buying the replacement, they were all out of stock. So, like, I was quite upset by that, and there was not going to be a restock for a while, and so I technically been waiting something like, I think they went out of stock in like December or November, so like, you know, a good 6 months at least. I think I sold it in January or whatever. I just hadn't realised that they'd gone out of stock. But yeah, a good 6 months for an Orca, and I'm desperately wanting one, and it's going to be probably a mainstay in my collection. I'll probably sell my Sirius. The Sirius is good, but I don't know, man, something about aluminium balisongs, it's just never really sat with me. If I had a Cygnus, I'd probably be more likely to keep it, or a Vixen. But the LDY balisongs are really good. I've never been able to seem to make one like stick. Like, I've never fallen in love with one. You know, like the Cygnus is probably my favorite balisong that they've made that I've tried. Actually, maybe the Frank P would be. The Frank P I actually did love. Genuinely, I was flipping that thing all the time, and then I lost it on a train or something, or I think on a train. I'm really upset by that. But yeah, other than that, I've never found a balisong that they made that I've like loved. But I've only tried 3, right? So I'm hoping to try more. I think the Orion would be quite good, but then again, I've just never been a huge aluminium guy. I think the Kraken is quite a nice aluminium balisong, but even then, like, I just love the feeling of the titanium, especially like raw titanium. I just love that, like, there's just a confidence you get from titanium. I don't know how to explain it. They usually sound better. In fact, they always sound better. Even like the worst titanium knives sound better than like aluminium ones. And I'm not to say that the worst titanium knife sounds better than the best aluminium knife. Speaking of which, on the topic of JK Orca and stuff like this, he released a aluminium balisong which looks awesome, that I would also love to try out, but I doubt I'll be getting my hands on one of them anytime soon. I think they're $300, which is cheap, like affordable for JK. I'm not saying that $300 is cheap for a knife, because I mean, when you really think about it, that's still kind of crazy. You could have a few Orca clones for the price of one of those, and it's aluminium, but that's not the point, right? It's about supporting him. I'm glad that he's actually expanding more into more affordable options. That's actually a really positive move, especially as, you know, balisong hobby is full of young people who don't have $1,000 to enter a lottery to buy some JK knives. But yeah, that looks really good. That's aluminium. You know, I've not heard what that sounds like, but I bet that will sound better than a lot of the Chinese clone titanium balisongs. But, you know, even if you think, what's like the cheapest titanium balisong you can get? I'm not counting reps because they're like half. Probably like a Squiggle rep or something like this, or maybe like a Gale clone or something like this, right? I'm sure you can make the cheapest titanium like balisong you can get sound at least like 80% as good as like some of the top flipping aluminium balisongs, right? And like best sounding ones. And it depends what you like in a balisong, whether you like ring. I don't like tons of ring, but JK has somehow managed to make some knives that I really do like the sound of. Like the Monarchs have a slight ring, love it. The Bargo has a slight ring, absolutely love it. Literally, a lot of the stuff that he makes is just fantastic, and I want to get my hands on one. And I think DI might be making an embargo, which I think the embargo fights for my favorite JK knife, up there with the Monarch. Although the Monarch is obviously in collab with Hansen. And I think the Solo is also getting discontinued, which is really sad. It's just general Bali news, I guess that's what today's about. But yeah, basically, loads of new knives have come out recently. I say loads. A few new knives have come out recently. Some have been discontinued. I think knives are really cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be trying to get back on the grind. I just don't have much to post about, so there'll be probably more of these rambling videos coming in the coming weeks, until at least get my hands on some new Balis. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And see you guys in the next one. Peace.